Good evening.
Hey guys.
Hi, hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful night. I'm Cambria Caldwell. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I have my co host.
Hey guys, I'm Coach Jay. I'm a certified life coach.
Yes, and today we are answering a client's question, right? And I just want to say, I think a lot of our clients are sexually frustrated lately. We've been getting a lot of these types of questions, but they're quite fun, quite interesting.
Yes.
So let's hear it, Coach Jay. What was your client question that you
So
have?
my
Hmm.
client's question is, when is a good time to stop having threesomes or just like risque sex? Like when is a good age to
When
stop
is a
that?
good age to stop?
Hmm.
Well, I'm hearing a bit of judgment in that question, right? So there's like this idea that one has to stop having risky sex or one has to stop having threesomes.
Hmm.
Um, and so, I mean, as you know, I am very sex positive. I believe that
Hmm.
you should be able to have fun, safely with whoever you're with. And if that's something that you and your partner enjoy doing, um, I think you do it until neither one of you wants to do it anymore. You do it until you both decide to stop. If you want to stop,
Hmm.
you know?
I mean, like we were saying earlier, that process is just getting a babysitter and setting aside that time, and if you have kids, set aside that time and do what makes you and your partner happy.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
mean, I the only thing I would say is maybe like at a certain age. Okay, so I guess my question would be, and this is my question to you. So, do you
Hmm.
think that at a certain age, someone should stop having risque sex if they're not like devoted to someone like a partner or
Mm.
a husband or a wife or whoever they may call them. Do you think
What
they
it
should have a
what
certain age for that?
it depends on even how you interpret risque sex,
Hmm.
right? Because of course, I say make sure that you're safe. Whatever you're doing, make sure
Of
that you're
course.
safe. Make sure you're taking your medications. Make sure that you're, using condoms and things of that nature. If it's someone that you don't know, or make sure that you're both getting tested. If you want
Hmm.
to, do things without it, make sure you're both tested and that you know your status, right? So outside of that, um,
Live your life.
yeah, I don't, there's not an age limit on sexuality. That's the
That's
thing.
what I
There's not an
thought.
age limit on that. Like, I have clients in their 70s and they're still very much having
Yeah,
healthy, active sex lives.
I love that.
And I'm like, that's goals. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
you're still alive, you're still living. It doesn't matter how old
You're
you
still
are.
sexually attracted to your partner.
Right. You're
Yeah.
still a sexual being, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's one of the joys of life, and one of the joys of us being, humans, is that we are able to enjoy sexual pleasure. So, like I said, I feel like there's some judgment with that, behind that. Like, at what age? It's ageism. There's this idea that you get to a certain age and you're not supposed to think about that anymore,
Hmm.
or you
Hmm.
shouldn't be, sexualize yourself or see someone else as sexy after a certain age. And I'm sorry, but that's not true. I'm trying to be, a rich auntie living her best life, in my golden years,
No,
you
that makes
know?
two of us. I'm trying to be the rich uncle out here just living my best life, And
Mhm.
at the end of the
Mhm.
day, like whether that means that, you know, I have one partner, or I have multiple partners, whatever the case may be at that time, like you said, as long as I'm safe and I'm doing everything that I can do to protect myself and to protect my partner, live my life, do what's best for me, do what I want to do.
Mhm. Mhm. See, I would want to know why this client thinks that there should be an age that they have to stop. You know, if they're not, especially if they're not hurting anyone. Like I said, if this is something that they enjoy doing with their partner, they enjoy having threesomes, or BDSM, or public sex, whatever it is. If they enjoy doing those things, why is there a need
Why
to
stop?
stop? unless, I mean, unless there's other factors there. If somebody is somebody being hurt in some way, is there an issue of trust? Is there a lot of times I think that sometimes the males may put pressure on the woman to say, okay, well, you're a mom now, so you can't be sexual anymore. Like this Madonna horror complex thing that happens sometimes when a man starts to see his woman as the mother of his child or
Mother of
his
the child.
wife, but she's still a sexual being,
Right, but
regardless.
I mean, I think that like we was talking about this a couple of episodes ago, and that just comes from trust. Like we just have to communicate to our partner, like hey, I still want to have sex. I still want to do, you know, whatever it is that they were doing, whether it was the threesomes, whether it was the public play, whether it's
Mhm. Mhm.
BDS, whatever it is, you know, you have to communicate those things and actually have a conversation with your partner so your partner will be able to fulfill those needs that you have,
Right. So you're saying be
and not look at you,
assertive.
yeah, and not look at you only as you know my wife or my children's mother. Look at you as you know my wife, but also the girl that I'm also attracted to, or the woman that I'm actually attracted to still.
Mhm.
So I think that that's very important for not only the woman to have that conversation, but the man as well to actually have that conversation. Because if something is happening in that process where the man is starting to think that way, then that's something that he should go and communicate that to her, so that they can either set aside that time to where that maybe they need to have more intimate times together, to where that he's not only thinking of her as his wife and mother of his children. That just that to me that's what I hear. Like is that process of there's a lack of communication between the two partners, and they're not being as intimate as they once were, because you're taining to other things, life things. There's
Right.
nothing wrong with that, just life,
Right. Mhm.
but
Mhm.
that doesn't mean that as a life partner I have to, cut off one side of me in order
Right.
to, produce children, or for me to be a wife to my husband, or in order for me to be a working mom.
Mhm.
All of those different things doesn't mean you have to stop being sexual, or just intimate with your partner, because
Right. Telling
you
her
don't
she's a
always have
whole
to be.
person. Right.
Yeah,
So
you don't
she
have to
is a
always
whole
just be sexual.
person. She's a whole person that includes a sexual person,
Mm-hmm.
and a person who still has desires and still wants to be pleasured.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't have to stop. It can change. We evolve, but we don't have to stop being sexual beings.
Yes, yes, that's what I would say. Like, you know, I think enjoy your life until you can't.
Mhm.
I would
Mhm.
say, like, things happen with our bodies where, times change, things change, and, we may be in a situation where those things are not able to happen anymore. So I would say, let it happen until it can't, like that would be my answer to that,
Mhm. Mhm.
enjoy your life and don't put an age on enjoying life, whether it's sex or just doing something that you always wanted to do, you know, even in sex. Like, if you always wanted to, experience something new with sex, it's never too old to experience something new, whether
That's
I don't
a
care.
wonderful point. A wonderful
Yeah.
point. You're never too old to discover something else, explore something
Yes.
else about yourself sexually.
I feel like that just comes with
Yeah.
trust. Like you
Yes.
have to trust your partner in order to open that avenue up. Like it's a certain level of trust that you have to go through with your partner for you to say, hey, I want to experience, I don't know, public play, for example. You know, maybe you never wanted to experience that with no one else because you didn't feel confident enough. You didn't feel like you could really trust that person to the level that you felt that you needed to trust them to get to that point. So it's never too old to do any of those things. Like always explore yourself, explore other people, explore things that you um, always wanted to try, things that you thought about, things that you heard other people talk about.
Hmm.
The world is our oyster, you know.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
hey, grab
Yep.
it and let's go.
Yes.
Let's go.
Well, I think that was a wonderful question. We surely enjoyed answering it, and keep them coming, you guys. Like, ask us more questions. And I guess if it's about sex, if y'all want to talk about sex, we'll just talk about sex. That's the time that we're in. Nothing wrong with that, yo.
Oh
So,
no, that's real.
yeah.
Sex,
Well,
sex is normal.
it's healthy. Yes.
It is. It really
Yes.
is.
It's a
Like
healthy part of living.
I think some people think that sex is kind of it's supposed to be sacred and something that's only for the bedroom, you know. And it's like, yeah, it is, but it's like you can also talk about this with your friends, you know. Some people talk about it with family members, you know, cousins and things of the sort that just people that are in your circle, like talk about it, you know. Don't be afraid to bring it up. Sometimes talking about it with a friend may actually help you with that process of getting out your comfort zone too. So,
And it help you realize that you're not alone
mm-hmm.
with your ideas, your thoughts, your desires, your wants. You know, it reminds you that
You'll be shocked.
you're not perverted or anything like that
Mm-hmm.
for wanting to explore something new sexually. You know, it's a again, it's a normal, healthy part of life. So,
You'll be shocked to find out how many people are into the same things that you're into. Believe it or not, like you'll
mhm,
be really shocked to know.
mhm,
And
yeah,
there's support groups around so many different things.
mhm,
Believe it or not, and there are so many clubs and all kinds of stuff. Like you just gotta explore life and explore yourself and get outside your comfort zone and do something that you always wanted to do and experience. Discover
mhm,
something new.
yes. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for listening to our answer to another Ask a Question that we got from a client, and we'll be back with more. All right.
Peace out.
Bye.